Now, Cole, I think I said your name right. Cole Fitzsimmons, he says that Joe Haden and the leadership that he provides, there's that being an added element to it, you know? Now, I do like that. I do know for a fact when Joe came here, man, was that 2017? I think it was my last year here. When he came, even though we had veteran guys, he changed the way we view that secondary. He was, as soon as he came in, that was the alpha, that was the big dog, and everybody respected him as such because of the longevity that he had and the productivity associated with it. And with that being said, the intensity in practice continued to grow. Anybody that knows, like when we talk about our practice in Pittsburgh, like they get gory at times. Like it's a ton of fights. We're gonna go at each other like crazy. I already told you we would nickname Pouncey in the old line cannibals because of how they would try to kill the younger old linemen just in warm-ups alone. So we're like, if y'all coming over here to that like that with us, like we already know what it is. So with Joe, it just took it to another level because now you got a dog in the secondary. And it was contagious. You saw the other corners start to step up. The safety start to step up. Everybody started to talk a little bit more. You just feel more confident. And that element, I don't know if Steven Nelson would provide that. Like right now, even if Joe, quote unquote, might have lost a step, it's still something about if I'm a linebacker and I'm looking out there and I'm talking to Joe, it's a different level of confidence I'm gonna have in this call versus if I'm looking out here talking to Cam Sutton or Steven Nelson and there is no Joe Haden out there. So I can understand that element as well.
Almost like James Ferrier, maybe
Yes,
later in
very
his
true,
career.
very true.
Leader
Yeah.
on the defense, or even Cam Hayward. Who knows how his career is going to progress over the next couple years? But having him on the roster with that leadership, that can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And then shout out to Donald Copeland right here. He had said that basically it comes down to just Steven Nelson didn't want to fight for his spot. Now, for me, when I do agree with that to an extent, and I don't think it's a knock on Steven.
Yeah, if some of this stuff is true, I
Right.
mean there is a lot of this stuff coming out. So
It's like part of me, because I was never the first guy, right? I'm like, yo, why would you back away from that? I mean, if you nice, you nice. It don't matter where you're at. If I feel like I'm the guy, I don't care what they just paid you. I'm me. And I felt that same exact way when we drafted Bud Dupree. I signed my extension, and then we drafted Bud Dupree. I remember him coming in there, I dapped him up, man. It's all love. Yo, man, all right, man, you good? I'm like, yeah, you ain't about to take my spot. You better be looking over there. Like that was my mentality. It always was. So for me, that part of me, I'm just like, yeah, Steven, that does look a little soft when you, but like, not soft in the sense of like physicality, but just like you're turning down that quote unquote pressure that we were always looking for. We want that, you know? But it was like, dang, you kind of turned that down by going that route. Whereas when you think of a guy like Joe Haden, you never worried about Joe saying, man, I don't know if I could ball with this dude. I don't know if I could beat this guy out. You never had to worry about that with Joe. You even heard Cam say, Cam was like, man,
Martavis.
Even he here for you. Hey, Sammy, he here for you, not for me, for you. So you can see, just how different people have handled it different ways. Part of me, like I said, feels like, man, you should be over here like, man, I'm ready for whatever. But the other side is, yes, no different what we saw with Carson Wentz. As soon as they said Jalen Hurts is going to be the starter, what did Carson Wentz say? Yo, just get me up out of here. Let me go. Just trade me. I don't even want to. I don't want to do it. Let me go. Not everybody wants to deal with the back and forth because what happens is this: high school, it's 100% fair. Collegiately, 75-80% fair. When you get to the NFL, politics become really big and the business element becomes big. So even if Steven, quote unquote, beat him out clear cut, it could be a scenario where the team is like, from a cost standpoint, going forward, I'd rather pay him, and I can't see him out here if you're here on this roster. So even if you win, you're still not going to win. So depending on how because I don't know his situation 100% in Kansas City, but that could have played into why he didn't want to deal with this. Why he didn't want to deal with, all right, let's compete with this young guy who just got this new contract, knowing that, man, my contract is bigger. My cap hit is bigger. And how much of a separation, is it for the team to say, well, that money difference based on the productivity is worth it or it is not worth it? If you're Steven, you might not want to deal with that. And if you don't want to deal with it, then yeah, you go ahead and do what he did in terms of asking for the release. So that's why I said I can see both sides of it. But a part of me, I'm just like, man, I want to rumble. Hey, they paid you. I want to be able to walk up to Kevin Colbert and say, you wasted a draft pick. You wasting time. Why you pay that man that money? Oh, he going for Joe? If I'm still, that's my energy, But
sure.
Yeah, man.
You definitely get the side of the organization, the politics, because if they're just thinking one direction, there's not much you can do about it. I mean, you laid it out there perfectly. Yeah. And it could be and this from the standpoint too, Steven Nelson's getting 70-80% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Weeks 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
but then all of a sudden, randomly, he's playing fine. Cam Sutton's snap count bumps up a little. You just don't know what's happening.
And think about how many times have we seen that
And
though?
it's way
We've
it would
seen
be
that.
way worse in the middle of the season than it would
Mhm.
be right now. So from that standpoint, you don't blame it. And
Yep.
that's kind of where I'm leaning with it. That's what I'm assuming
Yeah.
that he's thinking with it, which I understand. It's just the perception you want to take with it.
Yeah. But either way, if I'm the Steelers and I find this out, whether it was when me and Steven talked officially about, his contract situation, releasing him or whatever, or whether it was the aftermath, knowing that that was his mindset, I would have much rather we stuck with Joe like they did, because from a leadership standpoint, Joe is not, we're not going to have to worry about the next wave of corners seeing that and thinking, well, hey, if they bring in a guy or they act like they're going to replace me, I'll just ask for my release, because then that creates a bad culture, and we don't want that here in Pittsburgh. We've seen that around the league. Like other teams, that's their culture. They will play until, all right, you pay this guy, you bring in this guy, then they're ready to leave. But in Pittsburgh, it's different.
Yeah.
And that's what I think makes it sacred. That's why people love this too. That's why we're so passionate about it. Even players, former players, and just fans, because of those type of things like that. And I just feel like, man, let's keep that like that as long as we can. And Joe will help us with that.
Sure.